Welcome to the inaugural Echo Sportscast.
I'm Paul McLean.
And I'm Dave Dale. This show is going to be a mixture of varsity sports, high school. We're going to start that way every week. And we're going to have club sports, non-high school, and recreational sports mixed in with some heritage moments. What do you think of that, Paul?
I think it's a fantastic idea. We're going to get to showcase and call attention to some amazing athletes, coaches, and volunteers that make the sports scene in North Bay what it is.
Yeah, and for the last week or so, I've been going out, and I'm really excited about the people that are involved. They're really excited to hear that somebody's going to try to put a show together.
Yep.
And it should be pretty cool if we can do some consistent coverage of the high school, club, and rec. I just want to introduce here Paul McLean. A lot of people know him already, but he's a 20-year fixture in local athletic circles. A team sponsor, a coach, a volunteer in multiple leagues, and as well as owner of Source for Sports Equipment and Clothing Store.
Yeah, thank you. And for those of you who don't know, Dave has been involved in hockey and baseball leagues as an executive coach, trainer, reporter, photographer, and armchair umpire. And he's definitely earned stripes as the parent of a competitive athlete. And Dave, I've known you the entire time I've been around sports in town. So this has been great. We've talked about our relationship in the store and just chatting sports in general. So we get to do this now on a regular basis.
And we recognize there's people more qualified than us in local sports and have done more and will be doing more. But we're going to try to amplify through the Echo Network what everybody does. So we're just the talking heads here, and we appreciate that fact.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll take any feedback that we can get.
So we're going to lead off every week with high school sports, because we know that's one of the most important things about North Bay's and area's community as far as athletic development goes. And we remember, and a lot of people will, that high school sports was covered more 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah, it's become a reality of what's happened right now, that there's just not a budget and it's not a way people can come cover it. But we do have new tools, and that's what we're looking at, trying to leverage those. The kids at the schools with their podcast clubs, some amazing photographers that I've seen putting out great media coverage for their schools, and we want to tap into that and help give them a bigger platform to share this amazing stuff, and hopefully, maybe find some kids who really get an idea what they want to do with the rest of their lives and focus on sports, because it's an amazing thing to be a part of.
Like the teams and whatnot, there's development in media. So we do want to tap into that. And the only way this will work, and the reason why the other mainstream media can't really do it on a consistent basis, because the economy's not there for it. So we're going to have to try to do it efficiently by trying to get submissions and contributions, as well as us interviewing people for podcasts and going out to the games and getting some footage, because that's my favorite thing.
Yeah, and I mean, it's amazing to see. There was a time when, you were limited by word limits and column sizes, or the amount of segment you could get before you had to cut to commercial. That's gone now. So now there's ways to have longer form things in different places. So we want to capitalize that. And, if you can take photos and produce some, coverage of what happened, or a little bit of a summary, there's a lot of great people that want to get that out there. So it's just going to be a team effort, and what better thing to do than talk about teams when we're talking about NDA sports?
Well, last night was Tuesday. We record this on Wednesday, and then it's going to our show is going to be published and posted on Friday mornings. So Tuesday night, I was at a couple of games. I was at the volleyball, the boys volleyball that was taking place at Algonquin, and then I went over to Chippewa to watch and get some footage of the girls basketball. Right. So, and we have the football stuff, because I went to the home
Friday Night Lights,
the first Friday Night Lights, and we got interviews with the coaches of each of the three senior teams, and that's going to help set up today's big game at West Ferris. Scollard's going there. They're having the Trojan complex is going to be buzzing.
It's an amazing thing to see on Friday night, just watching the crowds. I really. It definitely struck me when I first moved to North Bay that ability to have all those rivalries in town. Growing up in Collingwood, we kind of just had one high school that had football, so you didn't really see that. And here, just to see, 40, 50 years on, you're a Scollard guy or you're a Ferris guy, it really is great. It's an amazing community thing, and it's a great thing for people to check out if they've never been out before.
Well, O'Shell was the Mike O'Shea field was packed on Friday night for the first game where Algonquin trounced the Bears. Yeah, right, and it was a great game, but very lively crowd and very excited to see the season start.
Yeah, no, it's great every year and nice to enjoy before it starts getting really cold and you're trying to keep warm on the Friday nights.
It was beauty. I think I even got bit by a mosquito. Right.
That's the one beautiful thing about O'Shell. It's probably going to be there until there's snow on the ground. Those mosquitoes.
Today's action, though, as Mark Robertson will say in his interview, they're taking a step back to the old days. In the 70s, they used to have Friday afternoons and to have two games back to back. Right. Okay. So the seniors are kicking off against Scollard at 1, and I think he said that the Trojans are kicking off with the new Chippewa junior team at 3. Okay. Yeah, so it's going to be back to the old days of afternoon football, and it's going to be beautiful out today. So get out there.
Yeah, I'm happy West for the kids to get out of school early too.
Yeah, get out early. Start the weekend early. So to start it off, I got lucky and bumped into Mark Robertson at Chippewa because his daughter was actually there playing basketball. Yeah, and he's going to talk about today's football, his team, and how it looks for the league going forward this season. And after that, we will cover the first Friday Night Lights game with Algonquin trouncing the Bears.
Sounds good. We just don't want to ask Mark for any fantasy football picks because we're in the same pool together, and I definitely have come out on a few upsides of it. So.
He doesn't do his homework, does he?
Well, I think he tries. He maybe thinks too hard.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Well, he's got a long football resume, too.
Yes.
All right, off to Mark Robertson, West Ferris Trojans coach. All right, Mark, how's the Trojans look for your home opener there Friday at 1 o'clock?
Super excited. It's been a long training camp. We had a training camp, of course, and now this is the third week of school, so we're ready for some action. The guys are tired of hitting each other in practice, so we're looking forward to some real competition. It's the first time we've had a home game since 2017, so the kids are really excited.
So is this some type of alumni sort of celebration or something? Or?
Well, not really. Like, it just, it's so great. The kids historically have really enjoyed playing over at O'Shell Friday Night Lights. And there's been talk of having a home game. And it's a lot of work preparing the field and a lot of extra things that need to fall into place. Really good committee at the school to help all these things, happen. And so, we're excited. It's not really an alumni thing. It's just, we're calling it, it's an old school sort of football Friday doubleheader. We're playing Scollard at 1, and then our junior team's playing Chippewa at 3:30. So that's the way it used to be back in the 70s and 80s, right? Football Fridays. And so it's kind of throwing it back. We're sort of throwing, but we're wearing uniforms reminiscent of those days. White pants, green jersey, white helmet. So, it's going to be fun.
Well, that was good to see Mark. He was my son's coach, right? So, and I think he had a big part in Dylan's ability to take 7 courses on his so-called, what is that, grade 13 or?
Well, it was OAC for me, so now I don't even know what it's called. My daughter's not there yet, so I haven't figured it out.
They called it a victory lap, but that's what it was. And and Dylan actually, to qualify for university, had to get his marks up. So his victory lap, he actually had to do more studying and take more courses than he ever did.
In the grade 12 one, yeah.
And I don't think he would have made it without Mark.
Mark actually,
and his wife actually.
Yeah, and Mark coaches my daughter in soccer, so our girls play together, and so really gotten to know Mark on that side of it, not just as somebody in the store, the many coaches I get to know, and he is an absolutely phenomenal coach. He, along with Mark Bruner, and my daughter would say it was her playing soccer with them that really motivated her to want to play more hockey and really sort of dedicate herself to sports. So I haven't seen 2 better coaches together and what they've been able to provide for those girls in their summer seasons as soccer players. So it's really nice. He's a great guy.
Keeping with the football theme here, let's go back to that first game that starts the season. Yeah. Algonquin was in control most of the time, although Scollard scored the first touchdown, right? And I have some statistics here that give some of the players their due. The Barons QB, Dwayne Meyer, threw 5 touchdown passes. Matthew Desbiens, who is the son of the coach Ryan, hauled in 3 touchdown receptions and had 2 interceptions, including 1 return for a touchdown. Pick 6, I think they call it.
Yep.
Yeah. And Luke Braceland contributed a touchdown reception and 4 successful point-after attempts. Jacob McGill, Sam Pennell, and Wesley Strength Dupuis. They got a sack each. On the Scollard side, Peter Ferrasi, quarterback Justin Mariette, and Braden Morissette had touchdowns for the Bears. We have interviews with the winning coach, Ryan Desbiens, who he wasn't surprised his team did so well in the first game because they have like a 3-week football camp beforehand.
Yeah, and I drive by Algonquin every day going to and from work, and every time I'd be coming back and I'd see those the boys out there putting them through the paces. And yeah, that camp, I've known Ryan's done that for years now, and it really does pay dividends. They seem to hit the ground running every year.
Well, no pun intended. We're going to cut to the interview with Ryan and hear what he has to say about his team. Hey, Coach, first game under the belt. You won. You look strong out there.
Yeah, I thought we did okay. A couple of things we really got to work on. Tackling for one, but pleasantly surprised. I mean, I think, and the best part is I think we have what we haven't had in the last couple of years is depth, and this year we had some depth. We had a couple of guys go down during the game, and we were able to fill the holes, and that makes a huge difference.
And we followed that up with an interview of the Scollard coach, Kyle Quinlan. And he is a very excellent speaker.
Well, and I mean, very lucky at Scollard to have such a, following in footsteps of other great coaches, but a football resume that as a player, he was a Heck Crichton Award winner, which is the Canadian University Player of the Year at McMaster. I think they had something like a 21-game win streak in his time as quarterback there. And he's gone on to have coaching stints with McMaster and York and now teaching at Scollard and taking on the reins of that team. So we really have a great, obviously from these interviews, you can see just a really phenomenal coaching staff in town and great opportunities for kids playing football.
I actually interviewed him last year when they won the NDA, and he was gracious in victory. And at the first game this season, he was gracious in defeat. So that's a rare quality. Right on. So you judge for yourself.
Yeah.
Judge for yourself. Here we are. Kyle Quinlan. So season started, didn't go your way. What did you learn from this game?
We learned that Algonquin is sharp, much better football team at this point, week 1. Yeah, thoroughly dominated basically from start to finish.
Yeah. Big guys they have. That 95 was a force.
Yeah, they always have big bodies. It's a heck of a school. They take it serious. They're well coached up. Excellent student athletes that roll through. It's a small school, so you know what? The fact that they can field a team that looks like that, just kudos to them.
Well, in other high school results this week on Tuesday night, the Algonquin senior basketball team recorded a 46-32 win over host Chippewa to kick off their NDA season Tuesday evening. Vanessa Zolak led her team with 18 points toward their first victory of the year. Kirsten Tureen posted 8 for the home side. I also covered some of the senior volleyball, and I had a chance to interview the Chippewa coach Craig Nodwell and his captain, and they're looking at repeating as NDA champs and an OSA champs, and they got their eye on OSA.
Well, it's a really strong program there. I can remember actually coming up to North Bay from Collingwood and playing in that gym back then with all the banners. And funny enough, I played against the center for Chippewa, was also ended up being my roommate in university 2 years later. So my small connection to Chippewa volleyball, but I've known them to be a strong program for many, many years.
When I was with the Nugget, I covered them a couple times when they were clashing with Whitfield, 2 really strong volleyball schools.
Yeah.
Last night, for the first game, they were playing Algonquin on Algonquin's court. And Algonquin actually came back, won the 3rd game, forced the 4th game. So they had to actually play their starters in the 4th just to nail it down. And you'll hear that in the interview with Craig Nodwell. Okay, Craig, you guys started off the season with a win here against Algonquin. You're coming off a really strong year last year. Talk about last year and the players that you have going into this season.
Yeah, we went to OFSA last year, and we came, I think, top 12 in the province, and was fortunate enough to have almost my entire starting line come back for a 5th year. So we're an extremely veteran team. We've set lofty goals with the guys this year, and we hope to go pretty far with our season once again.
And something that we hope to do more often, and these are the type of things I'd like to see the schools actually record with some of their players to send us like all-star sort of spotlights. Quick 2, 3, 5-minute interviews would work really good.
And just great opportunity to test that out. It's a skill that, you don't always get to practice, and then the more you do it, the easier it becomes.
Well, that's actually what Craig was saying is when we were right before I interviewed Carter Thibodeaux,
Yep.
he said this is, good practice for you because as a leader on the team,
Yep.
You have to do that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's listen and learn, and everybody gets an education here. What do you think your team's chances are this year going forward?
I think the expectation is OFSA. It's always the expectation. We've been the last couple of years, and there's no reason for it not to be again. We've got a lot of the same guys. So NDA is our first goal, so we're focusing on that right now. Go deep at NASA, win NASA, hopefully, and then try to go deep at OFSA, see what we can do.
What part of the game do you have to work on to make sure you get that far?
We need to dig in. So we need our pass first. We need to not let balls hit the floor. That's what we need to do. We can hang with any team in Ontario, but we need to not let balls hit the floor. We kind of sacrifice a little bit of height. Again, Tornbue's our right side. He can hang with any left side, but we sacrifice a couple of big blocks. So our motto is kind of don't let balls hit the floor, and that's going to be.
For more NDA volleyball results, Franco Cite spiked hosts West Ferris in both senior and junior boys volleyball. The Trojans were beat 3-1 and 3-0, respectively. That must have stung.
Yeah, no, well, it's a good West Nipissing volleyball connection up there too. I know that they've put in strong club teams too, so that's good to see. Good to have competition, not just in North Bay.
Well, actually, Coach Nodwell mentioned Franco Cite as one of the strong ones in their league, so not that surprising. What we didn't cover very well today, because we're recording this as Algonquin's hosting its big cross-country meet at Omoshell right this minute. But we're going to try to follow up and see if we can't get some results. If they're not at the end of this sportscast, we'll be looking at them for next week's sportscast on the 27th, I believe that is.
Yeah.
So each week we hope to have a clip from a podcast interview, a long-form conversation that we have that we're going to not just tease but profile here in our sportscast. And our guest this week for the inaugural one was NDA President Lisa Hotte.
Yeah, she was a little nervous about coming in, so this was her least favorite thing to do, but she does a phenomenal job, and we talked not just about her athletic career, but her coaching, her administrative work, and even had a little bit of discussion on just the changing dynamics of parenting and kids in school and what all that means to athletics.
I thought it was a really great interview, and she did really well.
She did, yeah. She was reluctant to talk at first, but then it just kind of came out natural, and I think she enjoyed it at the end.
I think you'll enjoy this one. But first, word from our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Natasha Laframboise, sales representative with the Laframboise Team at Realty Executives Local Group Inc. Brokerage. We are a local real estate team here in North Bay. Our team of sales representatives, Matt Laframboise, Phil Seguin, and Adam Negro, are ready to help you through the buying and selling experience. We have been providing service to the North Bay and area community for over 17 years. Our goal is to provide knowledge, support, and guidance in order to prepare your home for sale, bring it to market using multiple selling strategies, and get it sold. As a home buyer, we have 2 buyer's agents ready to help you find your home sweet home. If you'd like to know more, check us out on our website, laframboiseteam.ca. We are always happy to help.
Today we have Lisa Hotte. She's the head of athletics at Algonquin, and she's the president of the NDA and the president of NASA. Looks like you're going to have a busy year.
Indeed.
Yeah. What did you do to earn all those titles?
Well, I didn't really earn the title for the NDA president or the NOSA president. The way it works is you're on a rotation. It so happens that Algonquin is on rotation to be the NDA president, so lucky me. And as for NOSA, this year is NDA's turn to hold the president position. So that's how I earned that. That's how I got that one.
Just good luck, eh?
Excellent luck.
And yesterday, we're recording this actually on September 12th. On the 11th, you had a meeting at the, and what was going on at the meeting last night?
It was just our initial executive meeting. So we had that at 6, just kind of start up to the year and upcoming events. And then at 7, we had our transfer meeting.
So you and Paul know each other well. You're actually the president of North Bay Miners Softball?
Yeah, Minor Girls Softball Association.
And we have something coming up where the baseball day, September 28th, I think?
Yes.
So what's going to be going on there, Paul?
So, Jacob Brown's been running this, started it with the men's league, first doing just some games later in the fall. And then a couple of years ago, extended it to the youth, the boys association. And we would start we collectively have some kids that can just sign up. And we put a little all-star team in their age groups. They get to play a game on Veterans Field. And it's just a really exciting day, raises money for the food bank. And just kind of celebrates, baseball. It's a fun way to get kids out, and kids from all the different teams get to play together and have a little go before we get ready for the winter. So I think it's really exciting now that to have the Girls Association on board as well, and I think we're going to see some really great things.
And what are you guys going to be doing for that day?
Yeah, same idea. I think we're looking to get some players from every division to form 2 teams for every division, and then they'll play a game. And I guess the latest news is that we're going to do a game, I believe. Can I announce that?
I think you can, yeah.
Where we're going to do an open ladies from the softball league play against a baseball team, where the game will be split. So 4 innings will be baseball, 4 innings will be softball.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Should be interesting, yeah.
I'm really actually looking forward to seeing the baseball players pitch.
That's what I'm mostly looking forward to as well.
It's a very different skill that if they have not practiced before, you're going to see some wild pitches, I think.
I'm hoping maybe someone supplies us some equipment because I'm afraid we're going to be like targets out there, but yeah.
Well, it's interesting because a lot of guys don't play fastball anymore, so they're not going to be used to that ball coming from down.
That's
low, right?
Yeah.
I'll have to talk to the kids on our team because they've got all the different, sliding gloves and protective arms and leg things. So yeah, I'll grab some of that stuff from the kids and
do that.
Get you guys all protected.
And you guys just recently hosted the U13 Provincials girls slow pitch.
Yeah.
Right? No, I mean softball.
Softball, yeah.
I get mixed up, softball, fastball.
Yeah.
I grew up with it being fastball.
Oh, but they're very different.
Yeah, for sure. And then the North Bay team did fairly well.
Yeah, they made it all the way to the finals, lost by 1 run in the finals. It was a great game.
I was stopped from doing video from that game. Tell me about that ruling, because at the time I didn't understand it. Now I do.
Yeah, I guess this new OSST rule is we don't want drones flying around. I think some people misunderstood the rule and kind of made it out to be there are no videos allowed to be taken.
Because it didn't make sense when I was told about it.
No, exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the girls, they in the final, how did that game go?
It went really well. It was back and forth. Some great defense. Actually, the game ended on what could have potentially put North Bay ahead. It was a great hit ball, and the left fielder just was able to make the catch. And that was the end of the game. We lost by 1.
That would have been a good highlight to get.
Yeah.
It looked like great ball. The athletes at that age are fairly advanced.
Yeah. No, it was great ball, actually. It was impressive to watch.
This weekend, make your way to Casey's Restaurant in North Bay for an unforgettable get-together. Dive into our delicious appetizers and enjoy the best drafts in town. It's the perfect spot to unwind, catch up with friends, and savor great flavors. Don't miss out on the fun. Join us at Casey's for a weekend filled with good food, great drinks, and even better company.
This is the non-high school portion of what we're going to be doing at the Sportscast, and it's a little thin this time because we want to give more attention to the high school to kick off things. But I was interested in what's coming up in martial arts. There's a lot of great clubs in town, and I found one that's having an event this Saturday at West Ferris, Gateway Martial Arts. They're going to be at West Ferris Arena, and they're going to have some type of WKA championships. And then, so I went to the club, interviewed the guy that's running the club. He's new there, 6 months. So, check it out, martial arts. There's a lot of different choices in town, but it's definitely a family sport where you can enter at different levels and different techniques.
Yeah, and continue lifelong learning, right? Almost like a golf, you can do that because everybody can learn at their own skill level, and it's just a great way to be involved and stay fit and stay active.
So listen to the interview and maybe check out what they have going on at West Ferris, and then you can look around for different clubs. This might be the one for you. There might be other ones, but it's definitely something a lot of families are getting involved with.
We're here at Gateway Martial Arts with Adam Arbiter. Tell me about what's going on next weekend.
So we are running a karate tournament or a martial arts tournament with the World Karate Commission on Saturday, September 21st from about 9:30 until hopefully about 4 o'clock at night. There's going to be a mix of great things to watch. There's going to be some team demonstrations. There's going to be some weapons work, some kata, and even some fighting. We've got point sparring going on, so it should be a pretty exciting event to watch. It's open to the public, so you can come in at any point during the day. It's just a $5 admission fee to come in and watch as much as you like. Bring your family, bring your friends. If you've ever been interested in martial arts, it's definitely the place to be. We'll have a variety of styles on display and people from all over Ontario coming to compete.
Where's it going to be and what are the times?
So we're going to be at the West Ferris Arena on Gertrude Street, the home of Ringette. It's going to be from 10 o'clock in the morning until 4 p.m. Saturday, September 21st.
For the people that are uninitiated, is this going to be a large tournament? How many people do you think you're going to be?
So we're going to have some pizza and some drinks and snacks and stuff available as well for spectators. It's going to be a full day event full of fun and some pretty amazing displays of incredibly talented martial artists from all over the province.
How many people in your club?
We have about 60 students. We do a program here and a program out in Powassan. And we have probably about between 15 and 20 of them competing. We have our own competitive team that works really, really hard and are looking to, get a space on Team Canada this year, maybe even compete at Worlds. We have a few students who made it for tryouts last year, so we're hoping to get past the tryout season this year.
What will people see when they're doing the forms? What is that?
So forms or kata are basically a routine put together. It's supposed to emulate a fight against multiple opponents. So there's lots of changes of directions, and some of them are really quite amazing. There's jumping, flying kicks, and all kinds of stuff. But it's kind of like if you imagine like a dance rehearsal or a dance. I'm trying to think of the word. It's choreographed. Yeah. So it's basically a bunch of moves put together, like I said, to emulate a fight. It's just a really dynamic display of all of the amazing stuff that our students are capable of doing.
And what kind of fighting is it?
So it's point sparring. So it's not kind of like you picture from the Karate Kid. There's no blood and broken bones or anything like that. Fingers crossed. So it's based on points. So they're all equipment up. There's gloves and face guards and all that kind of stuff. And there's certain points for each type of strike. So to the body is 1 point, to the head is 2 points, and then you get different points for kicks and punches and stuff like that. So it's point driven, and then we have it from even little ones. We've got some 6-year-olds signed up to do some sparring. All the way up to, your older senior karate practitioners.
So a bit of a family event.
Yeah, absolutely. We have lots of families that participate in sports here with us and train together. And some of them have signed up all together to compete. So it's really cool to kind of see, the moms and the dads and the aunts participate next to their children that they practice with.
So I had the opportunity to get some video of the baseball final for the North Bay Summer League, right?
Yep.
And there's always some plays that get people sort of excited. They think that the ump made the wrong call, and I love that kind of stuff because it gets some interaction when I do it. So here's a pickoff.
Wow. Louis right there. No doubt, though.
You think? You think? What?
Well,
wait,
sorry.
wait.
No doubt on his... Oh, yeah.
Now,
I'm going with him.
Watch right here.
Wow, you really did get in.
Now, the player came back to the bench, and he was saying that the glove hit the ground and went over my arm and hit me in the head. He didn't touch me on the arm.
So one of these things from watching officials and stuff and having my kids be in it and watching young officials come in and see some of the, controversies that can, or, we're worried about losing those, young officials to, whether it's verbal abuse or whatever. But when they make a call and they make it with confidence, I always want to side with the official on that. Because when it's wishy-washy, that's when you run into the problems, I think. And that's, they're going to make a call. It's a judgment. It's a split second. And, when they're confident they'll go with it, I'm going to go with it. And you know what? I think when you're in a game too, there's ebbs and flows to it. And
funny thing is that they're used to this. These are men. They're fairly mature. When they came back to the bench, there was a little bit of grumbling.
Yep.
And when I told the guy, I have the video, and you're right, it was on actually the next play where we're going to look at. As soon as I told him, okay, well, all I wanted to know that I wasn't crazy.
Yeah.
Right. And so they know the game's proceeding. They're not going to get a video review. This isn't the pros, right?
Yeah.
So they know in their minds that they're either safe or not, and if they have some way of just justifying their thoughts, they can move on from it.
Yes.
Right. So I think the next play is actually one that Louis got wrong for sure.
Oh.
And Louis says he pulled off, right? Yeah. But, and this is where that first baseman actually, he's still on the bag.
Yeah. I'm going to go with that. Yeah.
So when he came back to the bench and I showed him I told him I got it, and you were right. You had your foot on the bag. He said, "Okay, cool. I need to know that.
I need to know I'm not crazy." That's a good way of looking at it too. And then you need to have that Finding Nemo or the Dory memory where you just forget it and go out and not get distracted.
And they were good with that.
Yeah.
And they didn't let these calls. There was 2 calls there that they didn't go their way, and they were grumbling a little bit. And we're hoping to get Jacob Brown in to have a little bit of an interview with him, a little podcast interview, talking about the season, the leagues, and what they're planning to do. So he's doing a lot of great work with baseball. So it'll be great to have that.
So coming up this weekend in local sports, there's going to be a hockey showcase put on by North Bay Minor Hockey Association, and it's going to kind of kick off the season for a lot of their A and AA teams. We've got teams coming from Timmins, Sudbury, Aurelia, I believe, and just kind of not a tournament, but a chance for kids to get scheduled games in, kind of meet in one place. And it's going to be an amazing chance to get a kickstart to the season and see where all the boys are at after all of their boys and girls, after all their hard summer training and getting ready for the season.
Do you know any of the guys coming in from Timmins?
I haven't talked to the team, but I know my son is playing in the U10 age group too. So we've got Sudbury, I believe, on Friday night, and then the Timmins game. We play 2 games on Saturday and 1 on Sunday. So all weekend, Pete Palangio, both pads will be rocking with lots of games and lots of youth hockey. And our hotels and restaurants will be nice and full as well too.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Well, that'll dovetail nice with the Lakers Homecoming this weekend.
Another great thing with lots of athletics getting kicked off at Nipissing. So it's really nice to see, and the homecoming weekend is always great to get all those kids back. It's nice to see some old faces too. A lot of Nipissing students have worked at the store or have come through either in coaching or seen them on the different teams. So it's a great weekend.
Well, I know we have several locals on the Lakers men's team, right?
Yeah, you've got the goalie connection, and then you've got Vesio as well on defense, and I'm going to feel bad if I start forgetting names or
put
who's
you on
it,
the spot, eh?
But Mike's done a really good job of being able to recruit guys to come play for the Lakers, and it's become something too where when kids are done their careers, it is a great landing spot to come back home, play in front of their families, especially the ones that have been playing in different remote locations or further away from town. So it's really nice to see everybody get back.
Well, I remember Zach Roy, one of the goalies with the Lakers, local guy. He was in East Nipissing, and I believe he was 2 years younger playing for my son's Pee Wee rep team. Him and Danica.
Yes, Ranger. Yeah.
They played together, and they both ended up being university.
For Nipissing at one point, yeah.
So East Nipissing Vipers ended up playing for the Lakers, and that's an excellent thing for local hockey players to strive for.
Yeah, and those the Laker players that when they come out and help us with beginners, or any team that's been fortunate enough to have their players come out and help as assistant coaches, what you're getting is a more mature athlete, one who's focusing on that next stage of their life. Sometimes the battalion players, obviously, they're in the mix of still trying to continue that hockey career. And I mean, there's definitely university players who go on and have careers in Europe. Logan Thompson, that won the cup for Vegas, was actually a Brock player. So it's not uncommon, but they are definitely in that stage of life where they're looking to move on. Nipissing with great teachers college. You're just seeing that higher level of coaching, and it really is great for the kids to get to know those players.
Well, some of them turned into local police officers. Yeah, some of them turned into local teachers. It's a great thing.
Firefighters. Yeah. We've definitely there are a lot of great Nipissing alumni that are in town and continuing to make the town great.
Right. So the men's hockey team plays York University tonight at 7:00. On Saturday, the women's soccer team plays Trent University at noon. Men's soccer plays Trent at 2:15, and then there's lacrosse. Playing Laurentian University at 6 p.m. And I enjoy lacrosse. Have you?
Yeah, lacrosse is phenomenal. It's a shame that there isn't club lacrosse. It's something, the season's there's just not enough kids to go around really between the football, baseball, soccer that goes on. But yeah, if you have not watched a lacrosse game, unfortunately, it's a short season, but this is club lacrosse, but it is the highest level of university lacrosse. There's a lot of players who are end up being professional lacrosse players or currently are professional lacrosse players in the National Lacrosse League. So it is a wild, fast, amazing sport. And again, great weather tonight, this weekend. Definitely want to check out lacrosse.
Cool. And on Sunday, Orange Shirt Day celebrate National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. The women's soccer team's taking on Ontario Tech. The men's at noon, and the men's team's taking on Ontario Tech at 2:15. In their orange jerseys, and that's great when sports crosses lines and recognizes cultural and social issues.
Nipissing definitely leaders when it comes to following social causes and raising awareness. All the teams, so we're actually working on military appreciation jerseys with the men's hockey team. Basketball as well has done a lot of equality, and it's just as well as Shoot for the Cure games. So Nipissing University, their students and their teams doing a lot to raise awareness and be great contributors in the city.
We're going to end each of our sportscasts with what we're calling right now as a heritage moment. We're open to other suggestions for names, but a lot of it's going to be from the Sports Hall of Fame, North Bay Sports Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and that Hall of Fame, walk in the halls, there's great to read all the plaques. And to be able to show some stories behind all those plaques that are there in the gardens in that Sports Hall of Fame that's so well maintained and looked after. We do have some amazing history and archives, so we're going to just shine some light on them.
Well, we're actually going to put the call out to anybody that has some of this historic stuff on footage. If you have somehow copied on VHS or otherwise, something from way back in the day in North Bay Sports, we're going to want to use that eventually. We're looking forward to ideas for what we want to do. But for the first one, I was actually at the Sports Hall of Fame induction, one of the dinners this spring, and I caught the introduction to Dave Saad reading the bio of Steve McLaren, who was a former local hockey player, played for the Centennials, and then went pro.
Yeah, and currently in North Bay, part of making the city run. So it's and that obviously they were trying to play catch up with COVID. So this is the second year of double induction nights, but they do such a phenomenal job. It really is a great, and not only that, so many people that need to be thanked and appreciated. So it's hard to kind of keep everybody tight, but Steve's a man of few words and make sure, but they're very impactful what he has to say, and a great athlete.
And if you listen closely, there's a little bit of melt in that tough facade of his.
Yeah, definitely a soft spot there, but it's really nice to see.
Well, I wouldn't really say facade. That's not true. He's got a heart, and he shows a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Right on.
If you go over the 2 minutes, I'm not really going to push you, all right? Steve McLaren grew up in North Bay and is a product of the North Bay minor hockey system. He played AAA Pee Wee hockey commencing in 1988, and it continued through the minor system and ultimately became captain of the Fraser Tavern midget team that won the Great North Major Midget Championships. In the key game in the final series, he scored 5 goals and had an assist. As is the case in most sports, skill is measured in a wide variety of methods. McLaren possessed grit, determination, toughness, and an outstanding work ethic. While Steve was never going to lead his team in scoring, his contribution to the teams he played on went far beyond statistics. His greatest contribution was that he fulfilled a role on any team he was part of that allowed the players with the strong offensive skills to display their wares without fear of retribution. Steve played for 2 years for the North Bay Centennials and was a key component in their championship season. He was never drafted into the OHL, but rather was a walk-on at the training camp. And Coach Bert Templeton was quick to see the hard work and skill he possessed would only enhance the overall quality of the Centennials. Steve was drafted 85th overall by the Chicago Blackhawks in 1994, and while his career in the NHL was limited to 6 games, his professional career consisted of 509 games, where he scored 17 goals, 23 assists, and amassed 1,909 penalty minutes over 12 seasons. Points on the board do not always measure the contribution a hockey player makes to their team. But the teammates that Steve McLaren was over those 12 years made a significant intangible contribution to every team that he was part of. Steve McLaren.
Through his achievements as an athlete in the sport of hockey, Steve McLaren is hereby inducted into the North Bay Sports Hall of Fame.
Okay, yeah, everybody knows I was as tough as they came, but I'm also as emotional as they come. So this 2-minute thing is perfect for me. First, I'd like to give thanks just to all my coaches I had in North Bay. Like you said, from when I was young all the way up, gave me the direction, everything I needed to move forward. And all my fans that helped support me and gave me that push, the cheering, and that really helps with the job I had. And my friends and family, unbelievable. And my mom and dad, who's no longer with us, but I'm sure would love to be here. Thank you very much. Love you guys.
Well, our first show.
We made it. We got through all right. So, no, that was great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to being a part of doing this, and it was a lot of fun. So, yeah, we can't wait. Send us your ideas.
Yeah, the fun part is it's run and gun, and we're going to try to keep doing it. And thank you very much. It might not have been our best show of the year, but it's our first show, and that's what counts. Step forward. And thank you, and I appreciate the coaches sending in results like they did last night. My phone was blowing up because they're all eager to see this stuff, and we appreciate that.
Ben, podcast producer here at North Bay Echo, and the Echo Essentials newsletter is a great way to get all of the news and events that are happening in the North Bay area, and of course all the newest podcast episodes in one neat package. And it's very easy to sign up, and you can get subscribed in a few simple steps. So first, you're going to want to head on over to northbayecho.ca. While you're on the home page, you'll see some of the shows that we offer, but we want to keep scrolling down to this panel right here. And you can see there is a box to type in an email address for the Echo Essentials newsletter. So all you have to do is type in your email, make sure to check the box below. And what this will allow us to do is to send you the newsletter to your email. And of course, your info, as always, is protected by our privacy policy. Hit sign me up and you are good to go. You are officially a subscriber of the Echo Essentials newsletter. If you do want to check out our past newsletters as well, you can hit the past newsletter option to go right there, or you can just hit the newsletter tab at the top of the page. And now you can see all of the past newsletters that have been published. And there you have it. Super easy and simple. And now every Tuesday and Thursday, you will get Echo Essentials right to your inbox.